Good afternoon. How are you? I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life, because I sure did. So thank you so much for joining me. Oh, Cuckoo. Grandmother was a little bit early, and Cuckoo is just a skosh late. So, Keto Cuckoo. Thank you, Cuckoo. I hope you're all well. We are well in my household, and our children and their families. Everyone's well, knocking wood. So, as the title of today's video implies, keeping keto when things are crazy or feel crazy. They may be no crazier than in human history. I mean, there have been wild and woolly times throughout human existence. Maybe it's just we know a whole lot more than people knew 200 years ago about what was going on around the world, but it can feel a little crazy. So what do we do? Well, I'll tell you what I've been doing. I have been sticking to the protocol. I've always done it. I mean, for those of you who know my story, I was morbidly obese for 30 years. I didn't want to be morbidly obese. I was not one of those people happy inside my skin, no matter what the size. But I tried. I've tried many things, like many of us have done. And I kind of knew low carb worked for me since 1977, when I got the Dr. Atkins Diet Revolution book, and I wanted to lose about 13 pounds I'd put on my second year of college. And I did, and then I threw the book away, of course. So I always knew low carb worked, but I tried low fat, and I tried move more, eat less. I tried many things to no avail. I'm getting heavier. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes, which was what was next for me. So I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, came across Dr. Eric Westman's white coat video, and I never looked back. For those of you who don't know, the ketogenic protocol, as I learned it and as I have practiced it, is keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day, total carbs, not net. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. A link to Dr. Westman's official, copyrighted, not bootlegged page 4 is below. So if it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop or satiated. That means if there's food still left on your plate, that's okay. If you don't need any more fuel, don't eat any more fuel. That's it. That's the sum total of the protocol. And so I said, well, I can do that. I know I can do that. 0 is fewer than 20. So the next time I ate, I just left off the carbs. And mind you, I'd given up on losing weight. Gave up. Well, my blood sugar is perfect. Its average is probably 72. My blood pressure is perfect. My A1C, I think, was 5.4 last time it was checked. My triglycerides were like 54, my HDL 98. So I achieved my goal. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. And I didn't want to spend the next 30 years of my life declining in health. And I was 55 when I started. I'm now 62. So since that started, I haven't deviated. Not even during a pandemic. I know people are anxious. Some people are anxious. Some people are not. Some people's lives, they're making more money than before. Some people are totally fine and just writing it out. And I hope that that is the case for most people. But what do you do if you're anxious and you're worried? A lot of forces are giving us leave to dive into the so-called comfort food. Newspaper articles, magazine articles, commercials. You know, this is a weird time. Eat the food. We're here to serve you. Shoot, there was a delivery of about 1,500 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts to a hospital in England for the workers. Not the wisest, most healthy move for people who are on the front lines, many of whom might be at risk for health reasons, and then to feed them junk food, it just doesn't make sense. But what do we do for ourselves as individuals? There has never been a better time to stay healthy. Never been a better time. And let's say it again. If hunger is not the problem, food is not the solution. If you're anxious about your financial situation, Oreos are not going to help. If you are in confined quarters with people that you're not used to being in confined quarters together, love them as you may, Doritos will not help. If you feel isolated, a big plate of pasta is not going to bring you company. So we need to remember that just because this is a weird and crazy time, not only should we not be turning to food that does not serve us and that often makes us sick, this is the time we absolutely should not be doing that. So what's the solution? It takes effort. If you're someone who is prone to stress eating, I did a poll for my YouTube club members. I don't know what else to call them. They're a bunch. So I did a poll, and the questions were: Are you hen? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm staying healthy. I intend to stay that way. No, I'm okay, but I'm a little freaked. Okay, I've stumbled here and there, but I'm hoping. Another one is I'm flat. I'm struggling. I'm done. I can't seem to get back on. Fortunately, most people are saying I'm healthy and I intend to stay that way. Maybe that's the way we should look at this. I'm healthy and I intend to stay that way. If we can make it through 2020, because I think I just read that the 17-year cicadas are expected back in some places. So of course there goes, the biblical locust plague coming. Dams are bursting and crazy things are happening. If we can make it through 2020, we'll be able to make it through anything. So let's just think about that. How do you stay keto during crazy times? The answer is you stay keto. You have faith in the process. You don't need to know how it works or why it works, but too many of us know that it works. Too many of us have seen the result. As I've said many times, I have no idea how the internal combustion engine works, but I'm really glad that it does, and I know how to drive a car. So I don't need to know how the internal combustion engine works for me to be able to drive. I don't need to know how my remote control works for me to be able to use it. So I don't know. I understand some of the mechanisms. But the way you stay on track is you stay on track. It sounds simplistic, and I don't mean it to be dismissive. Take it away from food. Take it if you were counseling a friend or a child or a coworker. And this person says, how do I keep from smoking a cigarette? What would you say? You say, don't smoke any more cigarettes. Put them away. Stop having them around your house. Don't hang out with people who are chain smokers. Whatever that might be. So now apply that to how do I stay as healthy as I can, following a protocol that I know is more nutritious, is anti-inflammatory, can get me off of medications, or I've been off of medications. Do I want to go back to medications? No. You do it by doing it. And sometimes you have to talk out loud. That doesn't mean, flip the switch, now I'm not going to do it. No, it takes effort. There's an old saying, someone will say, oh, wow, look at so-and-so. They are so lucky because they have thus and such, or this and thus and such happened to them. The old saying is, yeah, so-and-so, it seems like the harder she worked, the luckier she got. It's not a matter of flipping a switch. But putting effort into something is not a sign of weakness. Just because we have to work at laying off the potato chips does not mean we're weak. To the contrary, if we have to work to overcome eating the potato chips, and we do overcome eating the potato chips, we're strong. It's not a sign of weakness to be tempted. Having the temptation is not the same as committing the sin. And of course, eating potato chips is not a sin. But temptation is not failure. That's normal. So how do we stay keto in a crazy world? We stay keto. Try not to bring the food into your house that you don't need there. And maybe if your family insists that it needs to be there, maybe they can start doing the shopping and the cooking. Not for nothing. No one's going to starve following the ketogenic protocol. It is nutrient dense. It is satisfying. It is luscious. It is steaks and non-starchy vegetables and pork chops and bacon and eggs with the yolk and full-fat dairy if you can tolerate it. Not unlimited. It is seafood. It is homemade Alfredo sauce. It is mayonnaise and sour cream, not unlimited. It's a very fantastic way to eat. So people who are afraid they're going to starve if they don't have crackers. No. So there we go. I appreciate you allowing me to be part of this. By the way, I'm going to turn my attention to those of you who are talking, and I can see a couple of club members. Hello, Mona Tufan, who is in Istanbul. So Mona, yes, I've been thinking about you because Ramadan. And I was hearing a story on NPR about how it's not just, Ramadan, you fast, is daily fasting. So, that's part of that. But a lot of it is the coming together, breaking the fast, going to the mosques, celebrating. And I can feel for people who are needing to this year bypass that. But hopefully people are connecting in other ways. And happy EID. That is the end of Ramadan. Is that what EID means? I'm not sure what that means. And I've read it and I've heard it. I just can't remember. Hey, Shell, Mona, I just love hearing about your culture. And here's the thing. If Mona can do this in a culture that is full of foods that maybe are wheat-based or, I can't think of the other base. I'm sorry, I just drew a blank. If my husband can do this, my lovely mate, who is Colombian from South America, not South Carolina, where he grew up, it was absolutely rice and beans at least twice a day, along with other things, lots of potatoes and everything. And he just decided that he was going to do this, not because he needed to lose weight, which he really didn't need to do. And he didn't have high blood sugar. He just wanted to ensure his health for as long as possible. And so about 6 months after I did it, he just said, okay, don't buy any more rice. Don't buy any more beans. And I bought rice 50 pounds at a time, beans 25 pounds at a time. Tortilla chip bags, big giant abuelita tortilla chips from Costco, 5 bags at a time. Debbie Longnecker writes, sometimes feels like we are living in an alternative world, waiting to wake up, doing my best to keep my husband and me keto during this insane time. And there is never a better time to do it. I mean, honest and true. It's pretty well documented that people who tend to have the worst outcomes if they do come down with the virus are those with type 2 diabetes or high blood sugar. Keep in mind, you don't have to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes to have uncontrolled blood sugar. Uncontrolled meaning your pancreas and insulin are doing everything possible to try to regulate your insulin. And at some point, the insulin breaks through the dam. And then you've got a problem. I mean, the glucose breaks through the dam. Hi, Twyla. And I want to say shout out to some patrons who are here. I do appreciate that. Okay. Dehydration. Can't get enough salt. How to get more. Okay, Nancy, I have no idea what you're taking now. And remember, salt is not sodium. There is sodium in salt. But if you're using table salt, there's a lot of other stuff in there. You want the sodium. So if you don't have sodium sensitive hypertension, there are a lot of ways. And you might be saying, well, I'm getting enough salt. I'm getting like 2.5 grams. Dr. Stephen Finney recommends 5 grams a day or even more. But a really easy way is just some cheap bouillon, the Knorr bouillon cubes. The ones we have like 1.1 grams of sodium in them. Or there are different. Our friend Jennifer in Minnesota, she just puts salt under her tongue and takes a big swig of water. Shell writes, my hubby is doing pretty good with the keto. Ran into a salt issue today. Glass of salt water and a rest. Yeah. It's, our bodies will find homeostasis, but sometimes they need a little help. Bonnie writes, my husband tolerates more carbs than me. Very active. Kayaked this morning at a lake for 5 hours. My husband can tolerate more carbs than I, but they don't come in the form of anything, no. His more carbs comes in the form of, I make him some almond cookies. I grind up some almonds and do that. And he has like 2 a day. And he'll eat simply more food than I do. And he eats more vegetables than I do. Not a huge amount, but he eats more than I do. But yeah, he's a dude. He's younger than I am. He's got a different body composition. He works in a physically demanding job, and he's apt to jump on his bicycle and ride for about 30 miles. Pickle juice, olives. Yes, these are excellent suggestions for the sodium situation. So excuse me for a moment. I meant to have this queued up. There are a couple of things that I want to share with you guys. And this, one of the things that is, I like to support people that I respect and like and love. And a lot of people have side hustles now, and they're doing their best to make a go of it. So I'm going to put a couple of links. These are not, I have no vested interest in these. One is Amy Berger's book, The Stall Slayer. Now, Amy and I are good friends. And she knows that I've said, if I was going to write a book called The Stall Slayer, it would be one sentence. In order to break a stall, eat less food. But she's a lot smarter than I am. I'm pretty smart, but she's really smart. And it's a really great book, and books have already gotten it, but it's an ebook. It will be on Amazon at some point and on Kindle, but there's a link to it. So, if you feel like you're hovering, I say drop back and ask some questions. Are you overeating dietary fat? Because you can be burning fat for fuel. But if you're drinking or eating extra dietary fat, like fat bombs and bulletproof coffee, if you're consuming the added dietary fat, not the fat that comes with the protein, not the fat that comes with the bacon or the ribeye or the pork chop or the whatever, that you want to eat, but added fats, lots of it. Then your body burning fat for fuel, simply consume that fat first and not get to the fat on our tuchus or our chins or whatever. So there's a link to that. And we love Amy. Hey, Ketogenic, Amy Berger's book, has a ton of fantastic information. Even experienced ketoers can learn a ton. So there is a recommendation. Cynthia Leith writes, Tammy, you have to burn your glycogen from your liver, then you will make ketones. I believe this is correct. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so Tammy asked a question which I did not see. Sorry about that. I do beg your pardon for not seeing it. They go by quickly. And I have to, sorry, can't find it. So, look at my shirt. I wore this in honor of how to get through keto with a crazy world. I'm stronger than a cookie. I just ordered this myself from my Teespring store, and it just arrived. I think there's a link to it below this video, or there will be. Keep in mind, I'm stronger than a cookie. People say I'm helpless in the face of a Chips Ahoy or Godiva chocolate. I have to surrender. No, we've been through some things. We are going through some things. We have buried people we love. We've had our hearts broken. We have been foreclosed on. We have been in unloving or even abusive relationships. We have raised children who seem to lose interest in the fact that we are even alive. We have, I don't know, lost, we've been in accidents and lost limbs. We've been through a lot of stuff. No, I say that I've not been through all of those things, but people have been. So to say that I'm powerless against M&Ms is really kind of silly. And we know that it's silly. I am stronger than a cookie. I am stronger than COVID-19 as far as being stressed out to the point that I start making poor decisions. It's a poor decision to not wear a mask. It's a poor decision to not wash your hands on a regular basis. I mean, anytime that's a poor decision. It's a poor decision to hang out with people that may be symptomatic and you think you're impervious. It's a poor decision to eat food that doesn't serve us. Oh, okay. Cynthia asked, what food to eat to get into ketosis fast? No, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disagree with you on your response. Cynthia, it's not what you do eat, it's what you don't eat. You don't eat anything to get into ketosis. It's not the presence of fat or MCT oil or anything that will start you burning fat for fuel. It's the absence of carbs. So it's not what you do eat, it's what you don't eat. Just lay off the carbs. Lay off the carbs. Lay off the carbs. You will hear that carbohydrate, and you'll hear some doctors, is an essential macronutrient. As Dwight Schrute from The Office would say, false. That is not true. Carbohydrate is not an essential macronutrient. Our body can create all the glucose required for its functions without us taking in a gram of carbohydrate. Well, taking carbohydrate because every food has fat, carbs, and protein. Every vegetable, every animal product has some of it. It's just mostly animal products have fat and protein. And plant products and grains have almost exclusively carbs. But our body can create glucose from gluconeogenesis to get what we need. And Cynthia is saying it takes different times for different people. Yes, it does. And particularly depending how conscientious you are about the protocol. If you're weaning yourself off of carbs, it might take you a while. Because it doesn't take many 20 grams of carbohydrate. Look at it this way. What does 20 grams of carbohydrate look like? If you eat about a cup of non-starchy vegetables before they are cooked, and about 2 cups of leafy greens before they're cooked, if you cook your greens, that'll get you to about 12 grams of carbohydrate right there. A cup of broccoli ain't much. 2 cups of romaine or kale, whatever you're eating, or spinach before cooked, not much. That gets you to about 12. If you ate 1 apple, that has about 25 grams of carbohydrate. So you have to be pretty strict if you want to do this. Okay, Tammy Shane asks, can you speak to all the collagen add-ins other low-carb channels are touting? Also the keto foods, it's still processed. It's all, here's one thing I can tell you almost certainly. If a food is packaged and has a shelf life and has the word keto on it, it's almost certainly not keto. It's an unregulated term. It's unregulated. They can say anything they want. Almost certainly any packaged foods. Because for foods to be shelf stable, they simply have to put in stabilizers, which are almost certainly things like wheat and starches of some sort. Don't try to have snack foods. You want a snack? Have a boiled egg or some bacon. Because we're in this mindset of meals and snacks. It's just fuel. And as far as collagen, I can't speak to that. I have no idea about the science of it. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I think if we are burning fat for fuel and we are feeding our body the way it was intended to be, we don't need a lot of supplements. We need supplements when we're deficient because we were burning sugar for fuel and our system was way out of whack. I mean, acid reflux, system out of whack. Eczema, system out of whack. High blood sugar, system way out of whack. High blood pressure, system out of whack. Irritable bowel syndrome. Our body is talking to us with all of these things. And when it gets acute, our body is shouting at us. So we need to listen to our bodies. And I'm getting the message, Tammy, that you're looking to listen to a whole lot of stuff. My recommendation, I didn't listen to a lot of people. I listened to Dr. Eric Westman. I listened to Dr. Stephen Finney, Jeff Volek, some lectures by Peter Attia. That was bad. This has taken off so much. There are people who are, if there's a discount code associated with someone you're listening to or reading so that you can get this X packaged food, suspect. Supplements, I don't take any. I beg your pardon. I do take slow release magnesium, Mag 64. I was prone to leg cramps before this. And now it's just a prophylactic, actually. My husband takes no supplements. None. I don't take collagen. I was given some. And when I think about it, it's up in a cupboard. When I think about it, if I might put a scoop in, but that's maybe once in a blue moon. For better or for worse, my skin is what it is. For better or for worse, my lips are wrinkled. I don't have pouty lips. I am my age. Here's to body positivity, considering the aging process. What am I drinking? If someone hasn't already asked, they will. I meant to say it earlier. Glass full of ice. It's almost to brimming. Diet tonic water and a splash of cranberry juice with a squeeze of lime. It's very refreshing, and it wets my whistle as I'm talking. Leader writes, yes, when I hear I have a discount code, I feel I can't trust the quote honest review. I am with you on that. I do want to talk about Patreon. There are patrons here. And if you enjoy the public content, and if I improve production values, which I'm trying to do, thank a patron. My Patreon is a support group. It's a closed support group. And as I've often said, I think people join my Patreon not to get access to me, but to get access to each other. I produce about 20 videos a month, weekday mornings, at this counter, without makeup, pre-coffee, with pillow hair, on a variety of subjects that the patrons suggest on a spreadsheet. They write it down. Also about half a dozen patron-only live streams on Crowdcast like this, except it's patron-only and it's very patron-driven. About half a dozen a month, about half a dozen patron-only video group sessions on Zoom, and at whatever level you're at, an hour session with me one-on-one a month. So thanks to patrons. We appreciate you. Oh, let me make sure it's not my husband. It is not, but it's my daughter. Let me make sure. It's not an emergency. When it's one of my kids or kids-in-law or my husband, I look at the call. Hey, Teresa. Teresa, I got a very nice note from you. Thank you very much. It will go in my memory place where I have that I put little things. Sometimes you get down, and it's nice to read nice things. Okay. Lee Jeffries writes, Shell, I did that. Okay, y'all are talking to each other, which is excellent. I like that. Third keto anniversary, I saw that. Hey, Jennifer, tried your drink. Casey had kidney stones, so Diet Cranberry is my friend. One reason we have so much Diet Cranberry here is because my husband, twice in his life, once as a sugar burner and once as a fat burner, had kidney stones. So he takes just a swig of Diet Cranberry every day. Laura, well, thank you very much. Laura Rios writes, you look super young, Casey. Camera angle and lighting along with some makeup. But thank you. I take the compliment for what as it is offered. Kathleen York writes, my keto journey has been a long, strange trip. And Teresa sends me a heart. She wrote me a lovely handwritten note. It's, that's a lost art. Kathleen writes, I use collagen because of hair loss. I have no information from a credible source that collagen will do anything for her. Our hair sheds, and it will shed, but I'm not an expert. I don't know of any information on that. The sources I trust, when asked about hair loss, say, it happens, and it can happen for a lot of reasons, including emotional trauma. But sometimes it sheds in zones, and then it seems like for a while, all the zones are shedding at the same time. I've experienced that. Hey, Christina Polishchik. I scratch my head sometimes and wonder where some of these young keto YouTube ladies get their information. They rely heavily on the keto processed products and wonder why they don't lose weight. Don't blame keto for what all that stuff did. Well, I'll tell you, when you're a YouTuber, you're asked if you would like a shipment. Can we send you a box of our things? And I respectfully decline. No, thank you. I don't eat those. Oh, but we really follow your stuff. You have a great message. Well, they haven't listened hard enough, because I don't believe in products or supplements or pills. I believe in food. And not much of it. This is not a food-oriented protocol. It's a life-oriented protocol. It is a get your mind off the food protocol. Free yourself from the food. I'm stronger than a cookie. Food is not the boss of me. I actually want to live my life not thinking about food all the time, which I don't do, which I used to do. Food was the center of my life. No one knew that. Because when you're really fat, and I can't show you my before pictures because I can't screen share on YouTube. But if you go to my blog, the link below, you can go to the before photos. When you're really fat, you don't want to ever talk about food. And you don't want people to see you eating food. Right? But you think about it all the time. Keto snacks are a pain in the rear to make. Don't make them. Who needs a snack? I don't want to eat the foods that got me fat in the first place, or fake versions of it, because it's not just a taste trigger. It can be a in here trigger. And I've shared before, if we're going to have mashed cauliflower in my house, I need to pre-portion it for myself, because I will end up standing over the cooktop with a giant serving spoon and be eating out of the pot. And keep in mind, cauliflower is limited to 1 cup before it's cooked a day. So, mashed potatoes are just the thing for me. Okay, y'all talking about hair salons. I did a poll on the last patron-only live stream, because I keep talking about my pandemic hair. And someone said, I actually like your hair longer, because it was quite short, And so I did a little poll. And the consensus was people prefer it longer. So, okay, y'all are walking. Y'all are cutting your own hair. Dopamine triggers are real. Yeah, but, there's a lot of things that trigger dopamine. People want to always use it that, I'm a slave to sugar because of the dopamine. Sex will trigger it. And exercise and gambling. Anything that makes you happy. Laughing triggers a dopamine response. But they are real. But I don't think I'm getting dopamine. I think I just really like mashed potatoes, and I must associate it with something way, 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 way back. Nancy. Hey, Nancy. How are you doing, Nancy? Are you still working? Nancy is a nurse. She's a patron. And she's a hospice nurse. And as I say, that's doing the Lord's work. Hospice people are special. So how are you doing? How are the people in your care? And Suzanne Gunn writes, I like your hair short. And Buster Sugar Annie writes, love your hair color and like it longer also. And this is my real color, by the way. I'm fortunate. I always thought it was blonde until I was informed it was white. Christina Polishchik writes, Lee, yes, there are a couple of that are okay. Always read ingredients. Don't trust just because it's cauliflower. Yeah, be careful with that. And it's so easy. If you want a rice cauliflower, easy. Take an uncooked head of cauliflower with, broken into florets. put it in a food processor, zap it, pulsing, zip, zip, zip seriously for about 8 seconds. Steam it in the microwave or saute it in some butter. And it's not low carb. The cauliflower pizza crust, keep in mind, 1 cup pre-cooked a day. So if you think, well, this is a cauliflower crust, I can eat that at the half the pie. You're going to ruin your carb count. Plus, there are other things in it besides cauliflower. And Shell writes, I make a cheese crust pizza. So good. I just eat the toppings. Off my own, I put on a silpat, mozzarella cheese, a little low sugar marinara sauce, Rayo's low sugar, or just Rayo's is just very low carb. Some pepperonis, a little bit more cheese, a little bit more pepperonis, a little bit more cheese under the broiler for 90 seconds. Nancy writes, I'm still hospice nursing. Patients are all missing hugs. I promise to inventory them until the 6-foot thing is lifted. Bless you, bless you. Nancy, Heather writes, I've been buying beautiful yarn on sale, crocheting and knitting many projects. Oh, by the way, I did want to add something. And I'm just saying this, sharing this because if anybody likes to patronize small business, these are varied, so this is a site, handmade art. It's, a little edgy, happens to be my daughter-in-law, one of my daughters-in-law. And where is our friend who was coordinating our late, great Go Keto with Casey cruise, which had to be canceled? Her side hustle is being a wine representative. Really nice wine. So I wanted to send you her link if I can. See if I can find it. Nope. I'll keep looking. Y'all talk. And I'm not going to go on like this, forever. I just want to share people's small businesses. One of our patrons has a soap making business, but she's, until further notice, I won't share her link because she had to shut it down because she had to go down and take care of her father's affairs because he died of complications from type 2 diabetes. Bless you. I've been knitting up a storm. Crocheting has saved my sanity during this time. I wish I knew how to crochet. I know how to knit, but I can't crochet. How much does it cost to be a patron, asks Kathleen York. Entry level at this point, because I really just closed down the lower levels, is $10 a month. But you can go to my site and see. And you can message me if you want. Naja Newhall, I love knitting prayer shawls. Oh, what a lovely thing to do. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to do a quick search here. For because I did order the wine. I ordered the wine from using Lisa's link. And here we go. I'm going to copy it. And I will be doing it again. Again, I just want to support people who are trying to get through this. Poor Lisa is part of the travel industry, and I wanted to support her. And my daughter-in-law worked for a shishi coffee shop, which shut down. So I want to help people. I might start a little collective. People who have Etsy shops and make things. We got to help each other out here, man. We have to help each other out. When I do my daily devotional, I give thanks for all the great gifts that have been bestowed upon me. I give thanks for the health and happiness of my family, my children, and their families. And I ask that people who are so angry can be relieved of their anger. It's too much anger. Let's just be nice. So how do we get by? Got the wine one is the one before that. Do you fast, Casey? Marcia, no, I don't. There are people who fast for religious, cultural, spiritual, political reasons. I don't believe in arbitrarily not eating if I'm actually hungry any more than I believe in arbitrarily eating just because I always eat at 8 o'clock in the morning or noon. No, if my body's speaking to me, it says you're hungry, you require some fuel. I'm going to listen to my body. Also, if I arbitrarily did not eat, I would start having intrusive thoughts of food. And I don't want those anymore. And it's quite possible that once if I say, I can't eat until 2 p.m. and I'm actually hungry at 11 a.m., I'm going to spend 3 hours thinking about eating. And it's going to be this growing, sound in my head. And then 2 comes and I'm going to way overshoot. And I'm going to eat more fuel than I would have. No, I just eat when I'm hungry. Some days I eat when I'm not hungry, when I don't need as much fuel as I've eaten. But that doesn't happen so much anymore. Mostly because I've gotten to the point where if I consume more fuel than I need, and I'm not talking about big, vast quantities. I'm just talking about I don't require much fuel. I'm 62. I'm a runt. I'm 5'1". I just don't require that much. What was the last link you posted about? Okay, that's my daughter-in-law is an artist and does commissioned art and then just makes objects. And I bought a print of hers and she sends stickers on. She's very creative. All my people are creative. Nancy, thank you. Not eating between dinner and breakfast is fasting. Nancy, someone explained to me because I was talking about fasting. And I said, no. Said, excuse me, you don't seem to understand that the word breakfast means break fast. I believe I understand the etymology of the word breakfast. I don't think I should get credit for not sleep eating. I'm not fasting, I'm sleeping. Anywho, that's every time we talk about fasting, I get big thumbs down. Live Life Chill, a member. If you can see that Live Life Chill has her name is in green and she has a little coffee cup. So she's a member of the Go Keto with Lacey Club on YouTube, which I really appreciate. So you have lots of crochet on your channel. So if someone clicks Live Chill Life, if they click that, will that go to your channel? Is that what you're saying? So follow up with that. I don't think that y'all can put links in here, but I'm happy to do it. I can put links. Friends, I'm going to start winding down. I've got work to do. I've got chickens to tend to. And it's a beautiful day here. And I want to get some work done before it starts raining again, which it will be doing, I'm sure, because we can't go without 12 hours. Oh, Amy's book. Let me get you that. Hold, please. My daughter-in-law. Okay, thank you. There's this same daughter-in-law, but of whom I spoke. Let me grab Amy's book link for you. Like that girl. She's not a girl, she's a grown woman. I feel very maternal towards her. Here we go, one more time. And does anyone, before I do sign up, does anyone have a specific question for me? Feedback? Do you want to share a triumph, a particular challenge? I consider this a support mechanism as well. So if we are needing extra help, we need to ask for it. But remember, dropped my glasses. Remember, I'm stronger than a cookie, and so are you. This is a size small, by the way. Hey, Helena, made it just in time to tell everyone bye. That's okay, Helena. Helena, can you share whether Helena's a patron as well. Can you share whether the process you are being tested for has gone through? And I don't want to put your business on Main Street, so that's all I'm going to ask. Live Chill Life writes, it's such a relaxing way to spend time and get something when you're done, like a cute outfits or home goods. No, you can't click on the name anymore. Look it up via search button. Okie dokie. Live Chill Life. Live Chill Life. You should be able to find her there. Next week, they test me again. Okay. Cindy McAlpin writes, thank you, Casey. I got your postcard yesterday. I made my day. Keeps me strong. I want to share. My $10 plus patrons, Every couple of months, I send out postcards, which I have fun designing. And this one says, get back to basics. Remember what got us, what worked in the first place. And I write a little note on the back. So thank you. I'm so glad it arrived. Okay. To see if I have the antibodies or the antibodies. So Helena was positive, went through it. And I'm looking right now for your channel. I will find you. Hold, please. I will do this because I want to give as much credit to people as possible. Hold, please. Oh, well, I'm having trouble finding what I'm looking for. I am having trouble. Okay, sorry about that. I don't want to linger here because that's frustrating for people as well. But look it up, Live Life Chill, or look up crocheting channels. Do you get messages through Patreon as well? Yes. As a matter of fact, for patrons, I prefer they message me through Patreon because I prioritize that. So just message me. Okay, enough. Everyone stay healthy, stay strong, stay keto. Never been a better time to do it. How do you stay keto when things crazy? You lay off the carbs and you realize that if hunger is not the problem, food is not the answer, that food will not fix anything that is stressing us out other than hunger. Okay, that's the way you do it. Thank you to everyone. And I appreciate you allowing me to be part of your day. See you next time.